All right. What's up, guys? Good evening. Good
Guys,
evening, everyone.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Hi, and we are back. And this is another episode of Spill Session Volume 5.
Volume
yeah,
five.
five.
Five,
That's right.
Volume 5 and
Four,
Episode 8.
five,
Ah,
Five.
ano
Five.
ba?
Five.
five, four, five.
Ginugulo mo yung utak ko.
Okay, game.
So yeah, good evening everyone. So before we start in our main topics, I want to ask everyone, how are you? How are you this week? How was the past few days? Okay, and I want to start with Ivana. How is you? How is your day?
It was really good today, grabe. I'm trying this thing called 50-day challenge, and parang you have to try a new skill every day. And today, yung inaral ko is how to clean my film cam. Kasi binigyan ako dati ng film cam ni Uncle Kerry. So like I figured out how to operate it and stuff, and it's really cool. So parang yun, that's how my day went today. Like naglinis lang ako ng kwarto rin and stuff. So I think it's a very productive day naman. How about you, Ella?
So yeah, for you, if it's you, for productive, sa akin hindi. I've been, I've
Duality of
been,
man.
yeah, I've been playing all day talaga, like non-stop.
Ano nilalaro mo, Ella?
PUBG Mobile. So, ever since,
Dead
so
game.
yeah.
Mobile gamer.
Joke
Mobile.
No, joke.
Sorry na. Okay,
Dead game.
sorry. Ako na yung walang PC and all. And yeah, I've been like, for the past
Okay.
few days, like, I've been like, di naman lazy or like down. Like, I don't have the motivation to move and even clean my room. So parang, what's happening to me? So like, I will try tomorrow to clean my room and everything. Like, pag ito, maglalaba and stuff, mga ganun, like, adulting 101. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
great.
it. Wow.
Good luck. I hope you that. Like,
Yeah. What about you, Alex?
Well, my week's been going like yours too, Ella. I've been playing around also. Like I've been playing
Ooh.
a game, and I'm doing it with my friends too. So it's pretty fun. Also, I watched the last podcast we had, and yeah, there were some things where when I was directing the OBS, or I think our voices were heard at the start. So now I think it's fixed now, and I think
Hopefully.
yeah, and I think my mic is picking up a bit of Sensei David's voice right now because right now he's teaching in the living room. His class is the sports class right now. So shout out to the sports class and do your
That's
best.
sports.
Okay, but yeah, aside from that, I've been playing lots of games, and actually I've been doing a bit of fixing my resume. So for ever when I'm
Oh,
gonna
yan na.
yeah start looking for a job.
Yan. Alexander Emmanuel Lay po.
So baka
Let's
naman.
go.
baka naman.
Baka naman.
Yeah, sige, that's me. Yeah. Bye, Prince. What about you? How's your week this week?
Uh, okay, so I had my operation sa kidney stones last Monday. Tapos, so kumbaga nandun na ako, kami na mama papa ng mga 8. And then, yung tawag dito, nakauwi ako siguro maggabi na, mga 6, ganun. Tapos, sobrang
Day.
weird kasi,
So, same day
late.
yun.
Same day, outpatient procedure. Ang medyo weird doon kasi sinabihan ako mag-fasting ng siguro mga 2 a.m. Ganun, starting 2 a.m. Pero nag-fasting na ako simula 7 p.m. So, medyo weird. Kaya gutom na ako nung umaga, no? So, yun. Okay naman. Nadurog naman yung stones. And then, ngayon, nasa recovery period na ako. Marami akong gamot. Twice a day uminom, 3 gamot, iba-iba, ganun. Kaya pinapatulog ng mga gamot. And then, yun, dealing with the after effects. So, ayun, medyo graphic, no? Pasensya na sa kumakain. Medyo, yung sa pagwiwi. Medyo reddish. So, yun. All
Sorry,
goods
guys.
naman, kahit pa paano, no? Nakabalik ako sa work kagad, kahapon, tsaka ngayon. So, palag-palag. And then, ayun, pagaling, bawal mo mag-exercise, kaya tumataba na ako. Nagulat ako, nag-kilo ako, 79 kilos na ako. Grabe. 79, grabe.
Wow.
From 79 from what weight before?
From what weight? Hindi ko alam eh. Actually, hindi ko kasi nababantayan yung weight ko. Pero nung
Pero yung tingin mo lang.
pumapasok pa ako, I mean, siguro nagsimula ng pandemic, mga 10 to 12 kilos na yung na-gain ko. So, ganun na ako kababoy talaga. Kaya,
Di naman.
Yeah, that's
From the
smart.
last time we saw you, hindi ka naman ganun kataba.
yeah, yun nga yun eh. Parang ang weird eh. Ang dali ko bumigat. Di ko alam bakit. Parang hindi naman ako nagmumukhang, alam mo yun, parang, kaya si Ivana, hindi nagmumukhang mabigat, pero mabigat. Parang ganun. So, feeling by feeling. Parang ganun. So,
Yun
yun,
lang.
medyo weird.
Yeah, it
Medyo
depends.
weird.
Oh, it
Yeah.
depends on the person, like their metabolism. I know some people like that
Yeah.
also. No, like they gain fat easily, and then it's hard for them to lose it.
Yeah, my life, in a nutshell. Parang ganun. And, yeah, ano pa ba? Mga medyo weird stuff. Ayun, may stent pala. So, I'm gonna return after a month. Papatanggal ko yung stent sa loob ko kasi they put a stent para tuloy-tuloy yung healing nung kidney ko. Kasi it was, parang nabugbog siya ng stone. Parang, hirap explain eh. Doc, ni joke lang. Shouts kay Doc. Pero, yun. Nagpapagaling pa. Ayun, thank you for asking.
Yeah,
Ella?
so that,
Yeah,
back
hope you
to
get better.
me. Oo nga,
Salamat.
get well soon. And then
Oh.
sana sa work mo hindi ka mahirapan, and then the process of your healing, sana mabilis yung recovery mo and all.
Sana, hopefully.
Yeah, sana. So yeah, before we proceed to our main topics, I just want to ask you guys, which guys do you prefer? Muna, okay. If it's kata ba or kumite, and why? Di nyo kailangan like a deeper explanation, like bakit lang yun yung gusto nyo, kata ba or kumite? I want to start with Ivana, as always. Hindi naman kailangan di pa, like yung ano lang, yung bakit lang naman ever since, diba?
No, I'm gonna make a 10-page essay about this. Sige. I'm ready.
Papahirapan ko kayo.
But yeah, ako ever since talaga I really enjoy kumite. Like kumite talaga. Kasi parang grabe yung hype leading up to the event. Tapos parang I get to mingle with my opponents rin, ganon. I mean, pag sa kata kasi medyo yung waiting game, parang tahimik lang kayo sa linya, ganon. Tapos parang pag kumite, parang, lalaban, ganon. Like, hype.
Yeah, the hype.
Hype talaga. Tapos like, pag, iba yung feeling kapag pinapanood ka ng kumite, for me, parang ganon. Tapos, wala gusto lang talaga makipag, bugbugan.
Bardagulan.
Yung nasasaktan
Bardagulan.
Ay, grabe. Mapanakit pala to si Ivan eh. Grabe, guys.
Masochist si Ivana.
Oo nga, nasasaktan. Kasi, di ba, yung mga trainings natin dati pag drills, and so yeah, kumite talaga ako. How about you,
Kumite.
Ella?
Wait, before me, the rest muna.
Alright,
Alex,
yeah.
Okay,
ikaw muna.
Last daw si
Okay,
Ella.
let's get.
Ano ba every time?
For me, yeah, that's quite a hard question because I like both. But if I were to choose one, I'd choose Kumite. Now, I'm a kata player, national team. I was a kata player.
Sana all national
No, I'm not bragging. I'm sorry.
Ivana, Phil.
Yeah, I was a kata player, and I do enjoy kata. It's intrinsic, like the difficulty in being all the details, also executing all the techniques with proper form, the right movements, sharpness, and even the gracefulness of the slow movements. How you transition from fast and then slow, and then vice versa. It's very hard to get, and it's its own art in itself. No, so it's like I always tell my students that when you do kata, you have to do it like art. You don't rush art. You have to really feel it when you do kata. But kumite is something else that I've taken a liking to a lot also. That's why I have a lot of interest in MMA and the UFC, in like Muay Thai, kickboxing, and I really want to try those stuff too. But it's like it's not like the sense of fighting someone or like booging or like beating someone up.
Booging, guys.
Oh my
Lasal,
God.
represent.
Guys, do not
Boogie.
clip, guys.
Go.
Please don't clip
Another
that.
word name.
Oh God. Here we go. Oh yeah. Okay.
Happy tea.
I'm sorry. Filipino was my worst subject. All right.
Yes. Appear.
I didn't pass
You and
the UP because of this. UP exam. All right.
Let's go.
But yeah. But yeah, not this. I don't like kumite because you want to like beat someone up, but because it's like it's its own art also of like it's almost like you're dancing with someone else and you feel his character while you're fighting, but it's much less evident when you're doing karate kumite than in probably in MMA because in MMA you can like really feel the blows. You can really feel the punches that you absorb. In karate sports kumite, you don't really feel that much because one point, yame, he suddenly he stopped the match. But yeah, kumite is. But I also like kumite because of the techniques that you deploy, the strategies, the mind games that you employ. Also, that's very interesting. That I also need to learn, want to learn, and that's everyone should. I mean, it's also very important to karate. But yeah, that's for me. I still like kumite. By Prince. What about you?
Okay, so disclaimer, no? Lahat kami mga dilawan. Joke lang. Joke lang. Lahat kami mga kata player. Joke. Actually, kami dito, almost lahat naman ng siguro KDA members talaga, we don't get to choose, no? Which one do you like, kata or kumite?
Yeah.
You're forced, joke lang. You're supposed to do both because you need to be a complete karateka. Parang
Right.
ganun. So, moving on to the question, ever since talaga, mas feel ko
Kumite?
yung kata. Hindi, kata talaga.
Okay.
Yeah, oo, kata player
Surprise.
wise. Kahit di ako
Okay.
Philippine team. Pero. Hindi, siguro like naisip ko kasi yun parang kahit sa sarili ko kasi syempre the highs are always sa kumite. Parang the highs and the lows, parang nasa kumite siya. Parang you feel very disappointed if you lose sa kumite. You feel very ecstatic, very happy when you win in kumite din. Pero like yun sa kata, it's more of parang me being an instructor. Parang ngayon kasi I've 'di ba kasi hindi mas pinursu ko yung role bilang isang instructor kaysa sa maging isang athlete.
Please.
So
Yeah.
mas strict ako sa kata kahit itanong sa mga students ko mas doon ko sila pinupudpud na parang
Shoutout sa mga students
simple,
ni Vince.
yeah, mga students ko, shoutouts. Mga simple details talaga. Mas doon ko sila fino-focus. And
Sa small details.
doon ko mas na ano kasi siguro kasi nung bata pa ako nagte-training, ganun din si Papa. Ganun din sina yung mga sensei natin, no. Parang yung small details yung sa perfection, sa perfection of character, parang ganun. And related na rin sa parang you only get one chance, parang ganun. Siguro dahil nagangat katawan ko dati, no, isa akong perfectionist eh. So dahil din doon na parang naisip ko na parang siguro link 'yon sa dahil sobrang hilig ko magkata. Kasi one move sa kata na minali mo, one error, one mistake, talo ka na kagad eh. So yun, committee has much more room for improvement, more room for error, parang ganoon. And then pag nakita mo yung kata, parang like ang hirap naman sabihin pero like people who are paano mo sabihin sa community merong stipulations na pwedeng gamitin sa tournaments but sa kata wala, like it's like comparison sino mas magaling sa dalawang to, like laging ganun. So yeah, siguro mas yung perfectionist mas attuned ako sa kata. Ella?
So isang kumite, isang both, and isang kata. Okay, so ano ba? So,
well,
Alex,
wait lang,
Kumite silang dalaw sa baba.
Bago si Ella magsalita. Nanonood kasi ako ng YouTube live natin, tapos nag-comment si Marvin Pinpin. Sino kaya to?
Marvin.
Shoutout sa'yo, Marvin.
Shoutouts, Marvin.
Ayan, shoutout.
Ano daw?
Kata player here, sabi niya.
Kata player, wow.
I remember Marvin Pinpin nga, that's Sochin eh. Ang galing nga mag-Sochin.
Grabe, sobrang hands down. Ang galing niya talaga.
Definitely.
Ang galing niya mag-Sochin.
Yeah, super. Pero sabi ko nga, di ba, wag niyo masyadong like, go deeper. I just went like...
Sorry.
Okay lang, sige. So for me, going to that question, honestly, paano ba? Both. I think both talaga. Noong una, siguro when I was still young, well, I'm still young pa rin naman, um, more on kumite. More on kumite kasi mas madali siya, honestly. And then, you can do whatever you want compared sa kata na parang, uy, yun nga, one mistake, talo ka na. And then you can, during trainings, one mistake, again. Parang may mga ganong statements.
Right.
So, yeah. Going now to our main topic, isa to sa mga, I mean, like some people neglect during trainings or like hinahayaan lang nila kasi parang they want to like to do kata agad or kumite kagad, ganon. So parang feeling nila is dun sila kagad gagaling, no, which is hindi naman. So people tend to forget the kihon. One more category is kihon. So that's our topic for today. So for you guys, how important kihon, okay, or basics in our kata and kumite? I want to start with, obviously, Ivana.
Yeah,
Okay,
ayun.
last salit ako.
So sabi nga ni Ella, parang nananeglect nga daw yung kihon. I think kihon is the least popular part ng karate. Like,
Yeah.
yun nga, pag tinanong, anong gusto mo sa karate? Kata, kumite. No one actually says, kihon.
Kihon.
I
Yeah.
mean, kung meron man, sobrang rare. O di kaya mga sensei natin, kihon na. Ayan, so, I think it's the least popular pero it has the biggest impact in a way na yung mga bad habits and mistakes na ginagawa mo sa kihon, you bring it to your kata and kumite. And it's really important kasi yung mga adjustments natin sa kata or sa kumite, like we start sa kihon, right?
Yeah, during training, we always start sa kihon talaga.
Yun nga, yung sinabi ni Pipe Prince kanina about sa kata na parang yung detail, hindi. Yes, ganun. So parang we take that same mindset na yung commitment to excellence or yung attention to detail sa kihon, we take it and apply it to the kata and kumite. So parang in a way, butterfly effect, kung ano yung inaaral mo sa kihon, yun yung lalabas sa kata and kumite mo. So it's really important kasi it's dun mo kukunin lahat ng movements mo eh. Kasi sa kata, it's combined kihon, right? Parang combined movements mo. And yung sa kumite naman,
Right.
the techniques are from the kihon. So it's really, really, kumbaga yun yung cell. Tama ba?
Kaya pa.
Powerhouse of the show.
Ayun, that's kihon for me. And it's
Na ako? Last na ako, ha?
Asa Tela.
Last na ako.
Alex, what can you say about kihon?
Kihon, yeah, I asked this to my students when I was teaching. What's the most important here, kihon, kata, or kumite when it comes to your exam? So they always like say kata or kumite, you know, or most of them say kata because I teach a lot of kata in my class, and I always say wrong. Okay, it's kihon. It's kihon because kihon is your
Nakakatakot
basics.
naman ito magturo.
No. I'm not like that. I'm not like that in my class. But I'm the gentle sensei. You know, all my students would agree. They should. No, all right.
Agree. Or 20 push-ups.
Exactly. No, we do push-up burpees. No, okay. Anyway, but yeah, kihon because it's your basics, it's your fundamentals. And again, if you build a house without or a building without your foundation, it's just gonna come crumbling down with a simple like a simple like disaster push or like an earthquake, right? So your
Engineer
foundation
bars.
your foundation is very important. Yeah. So yeah, just like what Ivana said, if you want to get better in kata or kumite, don't just train kata and kumite. You also have to train your kihon because training kihon will improve your karate skills across the board. Okay, it will improve your kata, your kumite. Okay, and yeah, these kihon these basics that we do are the simple basics, right? And when you get to kata and kumite, you're already doing like combined compound movements. So you're not just doing a punch, you're also doing it with a stance or maybe like twisting your hip and then turning for another technique. Same thing with kumite. Before you learn how to do a snapping kumite punch, you need to learn how to punch properly, or like punch properly. So also before you learn how to punch and slide, you need to know how to do your stances, your basic stances. Okay, because I always tell my students that if you want to be good at kumite, you need to have good stances, because you need to learn how to slide long. And how can you slide long if you can't even do a simple or a long and low forward stance? So that's what I tell them. So again, yeah, Kihon, very important. Okay? So, Pai Prince, what about you? Before I say too much.
No, it's
Okay.
okay.
Kasi
Okay
maubos
lang,
na si
Alex.
Ella actually.
Hindi naman, hindi naman.
Mayabang si
Similar
Ella,
naman.
mayabang.
Oh, similar naman sa lahat. So, but yeah, we have our own opinion. So, continue.
Sumauna.
No, ako na.
Sige, ako na. Okay, so yun sa akin, of course, tulad sinabi nila, yun is very important. Tapos, building blocks siya. Tapos yung sinabi ni Ivana na mga improvement stuff, yun, basta improvement daw yun eh. Pero sa totoo lang, there's a reason kung bakit we warm up with basics eh. Kasi it's like, for example, your body's an engine. Parang hindi mo kaagad siya i-full throttle na parang diretso 3, 4, 5 na like todo accelerate. You start first with your number 1. So yung mabagal muna na. So basically parang ganun siya. First gear, yeah. Parang pine-prepare niya yung katawan mo to go through more like advanced stuff. Like syempre yung kata, mas mahirap mga movements ng kata, may mga talon yung kata, you know, and then may slow movements din. Tapos sa kumite, of course, for me it's the hardest in terms of sa stuff sa karate, kasi you have to have footwork, you have to have your techniques, you have to have combinations. So mahirap mag-build ng mga ganun ka-advanced na stuff kapag hindi mo pa nasosolidify yung base mo. So yung basics, kaya nga siya tinawag na basics. Tapos so mga side notes lang, no. Meron din kaming, for example sa tournament dati, kami kasi sa KDA diretso kami kata. So kapag nag-warm up kami, pagdating namin dun sa tournament center, nag-warm up kami kata kagad diretso, or like kumite kagad diretso. Pero there's this club na hindi ko na lang ini-name drop kasi KDA ito eh, no. Podcast namin to eh. Hindi namin sila bibigyan ng publicity. So, joke lang. So, yung club na yun, laging ang pang warm up nila is basics. And then, bago sila magkata, lagi sila nagbe-basics. So, yun, sobrang cool lang and new. And then, after that, nararanasan ko, nakita ko yung klase rin ni Ma'am Maricar. So, kasi, ang madalas kasi na basics, mapapansin mo siya na mas magagamit mo ang basics sa kata. Pero may mga pinapagawang basics si Ma'am Maricar na yung half step back and yung step in the middle na magagamit mo siya sa kumite. So, ayun, may mga shoutouts Ma'am Maricar, no, idol, no? Right hand drive. Yun, may mga talaga, daming sinasabi. May mga tawag dito, yung mga super benefits, yung mga benefits talaga ng Kihon na-advance na, no, throughout the years na parang nagte-training tayo. So gumaganda siya, dumadami yung mga techniques, and then mas nagiging complex. Tapos ano pa bang share ko?
I still have a question pero later pa. Pero sige.
Hindi, nakalimutan ko. Ella, ikaw muna. Babalik na lang sa akin.
Okay, balik sa'yo. Hindi naman. Actually, all of you guys that sinabi nyo was actually on point. And then, yeah, for me, Kihon is very important kasi yung foundation natin is really, really important kasi once you neglected Kihon, pangit yung foundation mo in kata and also in kumite. So, once na hindi mo inayos yun, ang nangyari talaga, pangit yung stance mo, is either masyadong mataas, and then talagang yung hindi na siya natatawag na stance. Okay? Mga ganong stuff. And then, sorry!
Po.
Ayaw na nga, okay guys, uwi na ako.
Okay, naalala ko na yung sa akin. Tapos ka na ba?
Hindi, not yet.
Go.
Sige, gusto mo na ba? Okay lang naman.
Hindi, sige, yun lang. Naalala ko lang din, yung one time kami nag-mock kata tournament kami sa black belt practice noon, and then nakalaban ko, hindi ko pala name drop, no. Yun, and then may nakalaban ako, tapos
okay lang to.
Dati pa matagal na to, sa Shopwise pa to eh. Kaya
2000
parang,
ano, 2000.
hindi ko alam, hindi ko maalala. Tapos, basta
Yeah.
nangyari nun, twice kami naglaban. The first, nag-Sochin ako, best kata. And then, nakalimutan ko kung ginawa niya. Mataas yung score sa akin. And then, baliktad, mababa, wait, tama ba? May baliktad. Inuna is John. So, kailangan may Shite. Naalala niyo yung days na may Shite?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
yun,
may
Nagagawa
shitay
ginagawa yung John.
tayo. Yeah.
Yeah, oo. Yung John, ginagawa sa akin,
Ninaabot.
mataas score ko sa John. And then, yung second kata naman, so natalo ko siya sa John. And then, second kata naman, nakalimutan ko yung ginawa niya. But since, lahat nakalimutan ko, no? Yung sa akin, nag-Sochin ako, best kata. Mas mababa yung score ko sa John. And then, parang syempre, naipaisip talaga ako, parang ba't mas mababa yung score ko sa best kata ko kaysa sa Shite kata ko. So parang sinabi lang sa akin ng mga senseis, mas maganda raw yung basics ko sa John kaysa dun sa basics ko sa Sochin. So, ayun, parang may basics pa rin sa loob ng kata, may basics pa rin sa loob ng kumite. So, that's why, may mga variations na ginagawa ngayon na yung parts ng kata ginagawang kihon, and then sometimes before magkumite na full blast, nagbe-basics ng kumite. Medyo unconventional siya, pero at least it's an improvement. So, ayun. Yun lang naman. Thanks, Ella.
Yun. So, nowadays, a lot of kids, or even before tayo mag-pandemic, a lot of kids don't want kihon.
Yeah.
Like, parang, they parang gusto nila kagad. Kasi, our students, me and ma'am, yung before pa mag-pandemic, na may kita mo sa faces nila, sa facial expressions nila, na mas talagang, pag sinabi namin, mag-gloves na kayo, parang, they're happy. They're happy na parang, uy, kumite na. Parang, okay, you guys are free to move. Ganyan-ganyan.
Yeah, ganun eh, sa sports.
Like, sa sports, hindi, no? Baliktad, no?
Yeah. Pero wait na, mamaya natin pag-usapan ng sports. Okay. Kasi, ayun, kasi let's talk about muna din nga sa Kihon na parang a lot of our students, parang they only see kata in kumite. The ones are important. They always, forget the third one, which is Kihon. Parang for you guys who's watching this, never forget Kihon kasi yun ang dadalhin nyo hanggang sa pagtanda nyo. Kaya, for me, there was a time na parang sabi ko, ayoko na mag-Kihon, nakakasawa na ganyan-ganyan. I guess, even you guys, na-experience nyo, parang may time talaga na paulit-ulit siya. Talagang hindi mo magigets bakit yung ginagawa to. And then, dumating din yung time when I'm getting older or like, nagkakaroon ako ng malay sa sarili ko. Parang, okay, ito pala yung reason bakit natin ginagawa yung kihon. Kasi to have good foundations and then coordination of the body and stuff and all, like, mga ganyang stuff. So, you guys have something else to say ba?
If I may share. Yeah.
Go lang.
Alex.
Kihon is very important. That's true. We all established that. But it can get very boring. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kihon tends to get boring, but that's just the fault of your instructor.
Yeah.
I remember when I was under a certain instructor. I'm not gonna name names. Okay.
Actually,
Almost.
wait.
Sige.
Actually, the next question for me, guys. Have you guys ever experienced like yun nga, got bored or got easily like ganon during those trainings? So yun yung next question ko. So sige, let's start with Alex.
Can I start?
Yeah,
okay,
actually,
sige.
yeah.
Thank you
Let's
very
start
much.
with Alex.
Yeah, hello.
Sila na naman eh.
Yeah, a certain instructor. Every time I train under his or her class anonymously, okay.
Kasi diba?
Okay.
Kinabangan ko eh.
No. Every time I train in his or her class, it's always Kihon first. Okay, that's normal. But every time we do Kihon, it's the same thing over and over again. Every class, Kihon, this, same thing. So it tends to get boring. I was like, and I can understand why people see it as Kihon is boring. And I understand that's a fault of the sensei. Okay, Kihon can be more fun. It can be more creative. That's what I try to do in my class. Well, of course, sometimes I tend to like be lazy with my Kihon. Like, we're gonna do side kicks a lot. Okay, we're gonna do this because you need to improve this. But most of the time, you can easily create a Kihon that's like more interactive, more fun, that uses more movements and not the same repetition. This one. Okay, this one. It's a different iteration, but the same movement over and over again. So you can mix and match different kinds of combinations of Kihon, like doing this stance and doing this kick and then changing or maybe turning. So you can make Kihon way more fun, way more
Fun.
interactive, and way more practical when it comes to kata. Like let's say you're doing this because it's in this kata. You're doing this because you do this in kumite, just like in again in Ma'am Marika's Kihon kumite. So you can see lots of yoriashi, right? Whenever like you like jab, okay, or slide, even in Kihon you slide, and in
Sliding without even actually stepping forward, di ba? Mga
oh
ganung
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. And then easy, and then we see this trend in also in JKS exams, because in Shodan and Nidan exams there are already Kihon where you have to slide. So it's literally Kihon kumite.
Mm.
Committee kahon. So it's very fascinating that people can that you can do that. There's a transition between kihon and kumite where they're almost you can see the similarities already. But again, the instructors need to open up their creative side of their minds, please, so that the class becomes more fun. And
This is this only for KD or for
no, no,
all of
no, no.
Dana?
Again, not for KD. This is all instructors, because I try to empathize with the students, because I don't want to see students that are like bam at the start, bam, and then it's just the same over, and then their attention is somewhere else, and then you see them lose interest in the class. And I don't want that to happen in my class, and I don't want that to happen in any kind of martial arts class when they do basics. Make the basics more lively. All right, instructors, you have to do that. Okay, because or else you're gonna start losing, or not really losing students, but
Yes, sir.
okay,
Yes,
whatever.
sir.
So yeah, that's
Ah,
that's me sharing my experience. Sige, who wants to go next?
Ivana.
Sige, Ivana.
Ivana.
Okay.
Ay, Ivana.
Ikaw, Ivana.
Ayun, so talking about yung boring nga ang Kihon. I think yun nga, kasi sinabi na ni Alex but
Yeah, so
yeah,
that's like extended rant.
I'm just agreeing
Not only boring, or not only in the boring part, or like how did you felt, or like yung mga ano mo lang own opinions.
yeah.
Wag mo naintindihan si Alex minsan sariling mundo talaga yan. Joke. Joke.
Nakadepende sa instructor kung if it's boring or not. Kasi ako, I'm just starting out to teach, di ba? Tapos parang yung experience ko sa teaching is demo class, and parang pinahandle ako one time ni Sir David. So sa sa online setting but in yung face-to-face naman, parang ganun. Anyway, I find it hard to teach Kihon kasi nga I'm not parang
Creative pa.
ganun.
Yeah.
Kasi bago pa lang so it's really hard to come up with these like combinations.
Ideas.
Yeah, and to teach agad-agad kasi nga bago pa lang. So I think it comes with the experience then ng instructor, and it depends on the age ng tinuturuan. Kasi usually kapag bata, pansin ko na parang it's mas gusto nila na mas advanced kahit na hindi pa nila kaya. Kasi parang they get bored easily na pare-pareho lang, ganyan. Bata. So, you have to engage with them talaga na they really have to be active. Hindi sila yung nakatayo lang, ganun. So, yeah, nung nag-demo ako, napanood ni Ella yun na parang it was getting repetitive na nga yung Kihon, puro punches, ganyan.
Right.
So, parang pina-combination ko yung like yung kid na sige, punch kick, ganyan. So, mas gusto niya.
No?
Oh,
yeah, the 4-year-old. 4-year-old. Oh, yeah.
Mas gusto niya yung punch kick kasi nga mas gumagalaw siya kaysa dun sa yung basics na kailangan talaga. So, I think it's really important then to parang consider the age ng tinuturuan kung paano mo ituturo ng creatively yung Kihon.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And syempre, ang hirap din kapag magka-mix yung advanced and
intermediate and novice.
That's right.
Yeah, kasi you don't know what kind of Kihon you're gonna teach kasi nga, di ba, iba yung levels nila. So, yeah, I think it's really important na hiwalay yung mga ganun. Or, depende sa level mo as an instructor.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. How about you, Pai Prince?
Ako muna. Wait lang.
Okay, mauna ka na.
Ayoko na kay Prince eh. Nawawalan
Mauna
na.
ka na.
No, wala
Mauna ka
na.
na, mauna ka na. Bago
Nawala
kita.
na. So, yeah. Talking about the Kihon, nowadays or even last year when we started online class. So, naisipan ko rin parang minsan nauubusan ako ng mga gagawin to the point na parang magra-rattle ka na, what should I do next? What should I do next? Ay, next kong ituturo and stuff. And then like, I came up sa mga online, actually sa isang JKS, I forgot his name, pero he's a national coach in Cambodia. Yeah, and I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Si
I
Toyama
always,
Sensei. Shohei Toyama.
yeah, ayun. I always watch his videos sa Instagram.
Ooh.
Okay, doon ako mukha ng source. And then, kasi he, like, posting every day with the national team of Cambodia. And then, parang sabi ko, ito rin yung ginagawa ko noon, nung bata pa lang ako. Parang, there's nothing really, there's no difference at all. Nandun lang yun kung paano mo nga i-engage per level. Okay? And then, lately, I've been thinking about combining strengthening and conditioning at the same time. So parang, yeah, actually yun yung aim ko talaga. Kasi I don't want to be boring talaga. I don't want to keep on doing the same routines. Kasi yun nga, magkakaroon ng possibility na magiging boring sila. So every time I teach sa classes ko, I always combine something na parang, what can I do with this kind of kihon and then strengthening at the same time. Like, talagang you need to be creative no matter if it's novice or intermediate or advanced. Ganun. And then, lately, nakikita ko naman sa kanila, like, parang you can see the improvement of them, yung strength nila, their power and stuff and all. So, yung boringness talaga, minsan meron, minsan wala, minsan depende, minsan mauubusan ka talaga. And then, sometimes you just have to motivate yourself to do trainings and then keep watching some stuff na gusto mo rin matutunan without someone telling or teaching you how to do it ng ganun. And yeah, that's it for me. How about you, Prince?
Yep, I share the same sentiments sa inyong tatlo. Especially yung kay Alex, kasi meron din akong pinagdaanan na sensei din, na like paulit-ulit yung kihon. Like hanggang ngayon, memorize ko yung buong klase niya.
Yeah.
Okay. Memorize ko yung buong klase niya. Pero syempre, hindi natin i-name drop, hindi natin i-explain. So yun, siguro, in his defense, his or her, her or his defense.
Okay, guys, wala kayo narinig.
His
Okay.
or her or his defense.
Mhm.
Sa depensa niya, di ba? Okay. Tingin ko kasi syempre, you get better through repetition. So, even though it's boring, kailangan mo yun eh. Parang,
Muscle memory.
yeah, both sa muscle memory, parang, it's a simple technique. Tayo guys, we can differentiate white belts, Gyakuzuki, from a black belt sa Gyakuzuki.
Yeah.
So, that's the same technique. Di ba? So, and kaya natin na ma-master yung ganun, it's through repetition. Pero I also agree na, totoo yung sinabi ni Alex, I also think, kasi para sa students ko na, different kihon. Kasi hindi ako, and madalas it's harder. So for example, kung ano yung kihon ng mga browns ko, pinapatry ko sa whites ko, pinapatry ko sa yellows ko. Kasi bukod dun sa sarili na nilang level ng kihon, gusto ko na kapag nakikita nila yung pupuntahan nila, in a sense, na parang, okay, gagawin ko to pag ganito na yung belt ko. So parang ngayon pa lang, ginagalingan ko na. Parang ganon. And also, dumating sa point actually na hindi ko memorize yung kihon. Sorry po sensei ako, no? Pero hindi ko memorize yung kihon na kailangan sa exam. And then, paiba-iba yung binibigay kong kihon sa students ko. And I believe, talagang sinasabi ko sa class, na parang, okay guys, kahit anong ibigay nila, kahit anong ipagawa nilang kihon sa inyo, sa exam, kaya nyo yun gawin. Kasi ganun ako ka-confident dun sa building blocks nila na parang, okay, yung ganitong kihon nagagawa niya na maayos. So kapag pinalitan nila to ng ibang execution, ibang stance, tama, ibang technique, parang ganun, kaya nilang incorporate, kaya nilang gamitin agad. Kasi may pinagdaanan silang ganun, may na-try silang ganung klaseng technique. So, ayun, nagiging boring siya. Like, syempre pag bata, kasi nga, yun, tama yun, yung kanilang attention span ay maiksi. Pero, siguro sa atin, sa maturity level talaga natin, mas na-appreciate natin kung bakit mas, alam mo,
Importante.
kahit rin naman paulit-ulit Pero ba't di tayo nagsasawa
Eh,
ng
but,
kata?
yeah, exactly.
Di ba? Kasi, kung Kihon, nagsasawa ka kasi paulit-ulit. Kata rin naman paulit-ulit. Ba't di ka nagsasawa? So, yun siya. Nasa sarili yun eh. Nasa sariling motivation, nasa sariling, kumbaga, it's not the sensei's, it's the sensei's fault if naboringan yung student. Kung hindi rin siya gumagawa ng ibang techniques and or kung hindi niya rin na-explain kung bakit importante na paulit-ulit yung techniques. So, yun lang naman. So, dinagdagan ko lang yung sinabi ni Alex. So,
And,
yun.
yeah,
That's mine.
so one more thing pala, kasi it's hard to teach talaga in like certain levels, like novice, intermediate, and advanced. And like, honestly, during this pandemic, hirap ako sa intermediate kasi we still have kids na wala pa rin yung attention nila even though na ganito na yung certain of belt nila, ganyan. And then, mas na-express ko pa rin yung sarili ko when it comes to advance. Like, I know within myself, I'm a not very, like, technical. Like, ganun eh. Kasi that also depends on you how, or who sensei ang nag-ano sa inyo, di ba? Kasi sometimes, kung ano yung tinuro sa inyo, yun yung lalabas sa inyo, di ba? Mga ganun. So, parang, siguro, yeah, it's kind of hard din kasi talaga mag-isip ng mga stuffs and all. Pero for me, sa ngayon, I'm still trying. Actually, dapat mamaya pa yun eh. Pero, sige. Yeah, I'm still trying to create something better for the Kihons. Yeah, even though napaulit-ulit siya, you still have to be creative. Any words, guys?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Do you guys want to share? Do you guys want to share something pa ba about the Kihons? Why we hate Kihons sometimes or why we love Kihons? Ito na lang.
All good.
Okay, all good. Ito na lang. Do you love Kihon sa ngayon? Yes or no? Wala lang. Yes.
Aralan.
No.
But,
Go, Ivana, go.
ang hirap online aralan kasi nga dahil sa technicalities ng kung saan kayo.
Yeah.
Ayun. Sa
Mahirap siya
online.
ituro online niya.
Online.
Mamaya, actually.
Okay. So,
Okay, Ella.
so moving on. So yeah, thanks for the wonderful words about the Kihon. So going to our next topic. Wait lang. I think I'm lagging. I mean, I can't wait lang, guys.
Tuloy-tuloy ka.
Okay, tuloy-tuloy.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, goods narinig ako. Okay, going on to our next topic. Okay, how can I say this ba? Where's my notes? My notes. We're prepared. Of course. Okay, so ito pala. How do you compare the trainings natin noon when we were still young and then the trainings now?
Ooh, wow.
Okay. So what can you say or like based on your we're gonna go be nostalgic and all. So what are your like experiences and memories the trainings before and now? Ivana?
Down into training now. Down into training ngayon.
Kahit hindi naman ngayon. Like, let's say, before pandemic
Pero
pa.
siya nagta-training noon.
Yun yung difference. Hindi, joke lang. But yeah, I've attended like a bit of training. Pero sana bumalik babalik na po. Ayun.
Dapat sana sinabi mo yan sa New Year's resolution natin last episode.
Madaya.
I think the trainings before are really mas active and mas lively compared to now. Kasi syempre, before you could be with your peers and interact with them, yun yung kulang ngayon na parang ang awkward kasi makipag-usap. Yung mga pre-training rituals na we talk to each other, ganyan, kumpulan sa gilid, ganun, iba-ibang grupo, tapos pwede kang lumipat sa ibang grupo. Kamusta kayo?
Ano yung grupo na yan?
Name drop. Anong grupo yan?
Ayun,
Grupo.
Dati kasi ganun. Tapos ngayon, you can't really do that sa Zoom. So, I think, yun, parang ang hirap nun. And also, it's hard, yung online setting na hindi lahat mirrored or parang kala mo mirrored dapat pero hindi pala, ganun. So, ang hirap mag-follow through. Ang hirap niyang sundan. Lalo sa kata, mga junro, puro ikot, di ba? So
Mm-mm,
parang ako, I'm
definitely.
trying to refresh my memory pero hindi ko magawa kasi nga, I mean, I'm trying to pero hindi ko alam saan ako iikot talaga, ganun. So, it's really hard and mas madali talaga mag-aral noon. Tsaka, wala, nakakamiss lang din yung, how do you say this? But aura, parang ganun, or
Same.
environment, training environment na yung tipong nagfa-fog up na yung mirror sa dojo, ganun ka intense yung training. Parang ngayon, you
Oh
can't
yeah.
really have that kind of like intense training through the screen. Kasi nga, oh nga, mas for me it's better talaga to have someone like with you sa physically when you're training kasi syempre um parang dati kasi yung motivation mo to train is wala ka na magagawa, you traveled all this way tapos hindi ka magte-training ganun. So parang ngayon mas mahirap maghanap ng motivation to, kasi nasa kwarto ka lang tapos parang mag-a-attend ba
Comfort
ako,
zone.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
'di
the
ba?
comfort zone.
Yeah, parang I'm in bed na ganyan. Like nakakatamad tumayo, ang hirap buksan ng laptop, parang ganun. So, I think it plays a factor din sa motivation, which is why dapat um you don't rely on motivation, dapat you rely on habit and ano talaga, discipline. So which is what I'm gonna try to work on. And yeah, sa trainings. Hopefully I get to train more this year. How about
Di
you?
hope, what hope, wag hopefully. Gawin mo na. Sabayan mo na ako. Balik ka na din.
No try, just do.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Ella? Ikaw ba muna?
So, going doon sa before and after trainings, before was, no, yung very active pa tayo sa sports, like the first batches, tayo. Sorry, Vanna. But the first batches were like very, very eager to train. We were like very wild talagang. Yung talagang ano tayo, porsigido tayo mag-training and stuff. No matter kung gaano pa siya nakakapagod and all. Tsaka parang throughout the years, it's more like habang siguro patanda tayo ng patanda, I think it's getting more easier. I guess. I guess parang hindi na natin na ano yung parang hirap. Tulad nun, dati ba't yung itsura niyo? Diba? Ako lang ba? Basta yun. And then, parang sa ngayon, siguro we're more knowledgeable about some stuff. Kaya siguro, mas madali na siya. And then, looking sa mga trainings ngayon online, yeah, it's really hard kasi hindi mo alam if it's mirrored or not. And then, you don't know where to turn. Like, also when you're teaching, you don't know if the students can cope up if it's diagonally, like left or right, like yung mga ganung stuff. And then, even din ako, I also train on my own. Starting with the kakuyoku, mga ganyan. Kasi nga, hindi ko siya kabisado.
Right.
And then, yeah, it's also hard kasi ikaw lang mag-isa. Yun nga, sabi ni Ivana, the motivation itself, parang yun yung nawala ngayong pandemic. Kasi when we were still together, training together, like parang, alam mo yun, we can still like socialize with other people, like you can talk to them na, uy, ito yung parang, kaya ko pa ba? Like, ano ba yung tingin mong, yun yung ano, parang, feeling mong may mali ka and then you wanna that person watch you and then after you train or after you perform, you're gonna ask, ano bang kulang ko? Ano ba yung kailangan ko pang i-improve? Yung mga ganung stuff. And then, ano pa ba? Yeah, yun lang naman. For me, basta mas gusto ko yung before kasi it's more intense and then more enjoyable. And ngayon, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, okay, sige. Well, I feel like there's like a lot of phases where our old trainings, and it's not just an old and new. There's a lot of phases that we went through, especially in KDA, where trainings have changed. Okay, like when it was just KDA, our Kihon was a lot more or what do you call it, difficult, or like it's more complex where it involved a lot more movements. And then yeah,
Yep.
kata was heavily emphasized also. The training was especially when we were young, also is it just I don't know. I feel like I get punished more than now. No, I was a kid back then kasi I was punished a lot. Grabe. My dad doing all the punishment to me. Okay. But yeah, so yeah, train was basic kata, kumite, kihons were much harder, and then we transitioned into the phase where we were affiliated with a certain organization. Suddenly training became a bit easier, and then we had more seminars, but we also had like a lot of exposure to different like also clubs and tournaments and also international events. And then there's another phase where we um um what do you call this? Yeah, went to JKS, and then now and then now we have different katas, like the kakiokus, the koten katas, the junro katas.
General katas, yeah.
Also, yeah, also giving the white belt a kata. Before the white belt had no kata, and then suddenly white belt does heian shudan, and then now in our JKS system we do juno kata.
General.
Yeah, so it training changes like in different phases already. So during the JKS phase, and then we also saw the implementation of like sports science. So now there's like more conditioning, strengthening, and then also, especially when we became national team. Okay, appear Ella. Okay.
Sana pero
Yeah, we went to PSC.
paranas naman po ng merch.
No, you're right. But yeah, we went to like PSC. We had to go to the gym and then we had to go through personal coaches. Shout out, Coach Nate, Coach
Nate
Jay.
and Coach Jay.
Yeah, so they made us like do like functional functional exercises, and then especially for kata players like me and other karate players, and yeah, the introduction of sports science. Even Mama Ricard, we had conditioning, sports conditioning before that. So it was something new. Our Kihon almost not really stayed the same, but it became especially when we're in the JKS system now, there's like transition between Kihon like the normal Kihon and then Kihon Kumite, just like what I said earlier. So you can see like the traditional side of karate and then the modern sports equivalent of karate seamlessly merging together. So you can see that transition and similarities in the movements. So I'd say I like today's training now, and it's just up to the next generation to pass the torch on and like try to deliver more and all the techniques and like keep up the tradition, and of course try to modernize our kind of training to today's standards, especially in tournaments and competitions. But yeah, by Prince, what about you? What's your opinion?
So, yun. Being the eldest sa inyong lahat,
Yeah.
comparing na lang siguro sa sports training, no? So, kasi pinagdaanan namin dati, nung bata ako, KTT, Karate Training Team. And then, after that, yung Toro, Bahay Toro. Pinagdaanan ko yun. After that, yung sports sa Shopwise.
Yeah.
And then, yung sports din sa bago natin gym sa
Alamol.
Ali Mall. So kumbaga marami naging phases, no? And then siguro comparison na rin, parang mas mahirap training dati. Before pumasok sa ISKF, mas mahirap yung tulad sinabi ni Alex, mas mahirap yung mga kihon noon kasi nung nag-junior black belt ako, naalala ko pa, memorize namin yung mga kihon noon and complex talaga yung movements, complex talaga yung combinations. And then yun, siguro nga mas pinasimple nila nung pumasok tayo ng ISKF nung yung kanilang mga kihon. So yung mga parang for this belt up to this belt ganito lang, no? Unlike dati nung nag-junior black ako, talaga kada belt may dinadagdag.
Iba-iba.
Yeah.
Iba-ibang technique. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an
And then
you add some to pound.
So that's for Kihon. And then ngayon, siguro, yung JKS Kihon, siguro mahirap din. Pero for me, mas mahirap pa din yung Kihon nung bata ako. Like, compared sa JKS Kihon. Sorry po.
Yeah.
In terms of, di ba si Alex din? In terms naman sa sports, ang hirap mag-compare kasi siguro kasi yung, paano ko ba sabihin yun? Mas mahirap and mas fruitful yung training siguro namin kasi nung panahon namin talagang
Don't
masasabi ko
win.
na KDA is on
Number
top.
one.
Yeah, parang
Yeah.
ganun. Madalas kami nag-uwi ng number 1
Overall,
trophy, ganun,
overall
overall
champions.
champions, ganun. And then kumbaga lahat kami may medal talaga. Parang mahirap na hindi mag-medal, parang ganun. Yung sports team nun. And then siguro naalala mo yung training thrice a week, no? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, pinakamahirap na trainings. Saturdays, kapag nanalo ka, kapag tapos ng isang tournament, may victory party every Saturdays. And kumbaga syempre nawala ako kasi nag-aral ako. Nung pagbalik ko, wala nang ganun. Hindi siguro dahil parang hindi na close masyado yung parents compared naman nung panahon namin na close talaga yung parents. Close. Tapos tag dito.
Wala masyadong
ayun.
victory party.
Wala na masyadong victory party.
Wala nang
Kasi
swimming. Yung swimming yung nahabol ko before eh.
actually
Yeah.
mapapaisip ko eh. Kasi alam mo yun, same lang naman mga instructors eh.
Hmm.
At siguro mas mahirap pa nga yung tinuturo ngayon eh. Alam niyo ba, nanonood ako isang training nyo one time nung wala pang COVID. Meron kayo nung gumagalaw na punching bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, the punching
Hindi ko naranasan
bags.
yun. Never na ako nag-train na may punching bag. So for me parang na-advance yung training. So bakit hindi up to par nung kumbaga
Time natin.
nag-stop ako sa pagto-tournament. Yung sa ngayon. Siguro kulang sa students or like kulang din sa parang closest ng parents, parang ganoon, kulang din sa exposure, parang ganoon. Maraming factors, pero yun, kaya mas marami ako nakukwento, marami akong naaalala, marami akong experiences eh. Dati ang tournaments natin twice a month, di ba? Thrice a month, parang ganoon, and then nationals yearly. So, nag-iibang bansa, nag-iibang lugar talaga, nag-iibang bansa
Provinces,
sometimes.
province.
Yeah. So,
isang bus lang tayo.
Kaya nga parang compared ngayon, mas close talaga yung students dati, kami. And then mas sabihin na natin, mas nananalo, parang ganun. So, yeah, syempre, bias. And sa nakikita ko rin, actually. Pero yun yung mahirap dun eh. Kasi parang kahit wala tayo sa ganung situation, wala na tayo sa ganung era, sabihin na natin, kailangan as instructors tayong apat, kailangan natin i-train yung students natin para magkaroon tayo ng ganung klaseng resurgence. Na parang, ngayon si Sir David, tinatry niya na parang, basta pag meron kang student na medyo advanced, alam mo yun, yung skills niya, papuntahin mo kaagad sa sports. Parang ganun.
Yeah.
And for me naman, medyo masaya naman ako na twice na akong pinagalitan. No? Kasi nagpa-exam ako ng 2 students and then, ba't daw hindi sila nagsa-sports? So, alam mo yun, wala lang, nakakatuwa lang. Lahat ng ginagamit nating experiences, tinuturo natin sa mga students natin. Kasi of course, we learn, di ba? As instructors, parang be the instructor you needed when you were the student. No? So yun, pinapainom na ako ng gamot ko. Okay, be the instructor you needed when you were the student. Kaya ganito kami mag-adjust na parang si Alex ayaw na ng paulit-ulit ng kihon, yung mga ganun. It's because of that experience. So, ayun nga, for me, yeah, naging advanced yung mga training ngayon because of the sports science and everything. Nag-aano pa si na Alex dati, may day pa sila every Sunday ata nila for lifting, kamo na yun, or like weight training. I never experienced that. I never experienced that. Under Mama Ricar.
Sunday yun? Oo nga, it was Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday.
Yeah, I never experienced that. Di ba? Kaya,
actually,
maraming naging
that was
improvements.
Doomsday. That was Sunday. Kasi a lot of us, kasi chika lang. That Sunday, every Sunday, I guess not all, but some of us got like minimal injuries like back pain, shoulder pains, and stuff. And then, especially me, like I have a lot of injuries that time. So, small chika lang naman. So, to be continued, friends.
Ayun. For me, mas mahirap training dati. And, yun, kasi it shows. Mas mahirap na training, mas magaling na student. So, sorry. Joke lang.
Sorry, talagang bias.
Yeah, biased. Pero, ask our senseis.
Okay. May sinasabi ka ba, Ivana?
Yun, wala. Napansin ko rin na before, we didn't really have a lot of equipment. Parang
BRB.
simula nung tumagal, I mean, simula nung nag-start tayo ng Sunday conditionings, like yung equipment natin dumami ng dumami hanggang sa nagkaroon na ng TRX, nagkaroon na ng like yung plyo box na sobrang laki. Tas dati like ladders lang, like yung mga weights natin.
Cones,
'Di ba parang
ladders.
sa isang
Ito
yung ano tawag doon? Yung malaking
bands.
the big one you put weights on na stick. I don't know.
Barbell?
Pole?
Barbell? Yeah.
Barbell, parang gano'n. Like, tapos hanggang sa dumami na yung weights and like mas naging advanced na yung equipment. Tapos ngayon, meron na tayong hook sa ceiling. Dati hindi natin
Oh,
doon.
yeah. Oh.
Dati yung hook natin, yung nasa nasa may parang cabinet, parang shelf. Yun lang yung hook na pinagsasabitan ng resistance band. Pati yung plywood na may target. 'Di ba? Parang
The Makiwara.
Yeah, the Makiwara.
Yun, dun pa minsan sinasabit yung resistance band. So, it really shows na we're trying to improve talaga now. Kaso yun nga, parang sabi ni Pipers na bakit noon mas marami tayong nauuwing, mga first place, gano'n. Ang dami nga talagang factors na pansin ko rin pag nagko-compete tayo, parang sobrang onti na ng competitors.
Competitiveness.
So, dati kasi dami natin, dumog talaga. So,
actually, I think we're like 30 or something. Ganun tayo kadami before.
Ngayon, minsan 10 lang, 15, ganun. So, parang, how are we gonna get,
Probably we got complacent with our sports team kasi. So it's like we got the sports team now that's like we're winning, we're winning tournaments, we keep getting overall, and then maybe it didn't urge the other senseis as much to like train their generation of students so that they could like put them into the sports team. So maybe that's one thing. So the sports team got older and older, and then there was nothing. The others were few.
Wala na sa age group.
Wala
nang
what replaced us
sa
were
age
few.
group.
Hindi nila naranasan yung hirap natin before na they're like two teams on the sides. And then, before. And then like, the committee.
Team
and then
kumite,
like, and then the one who has the least winners or wins, we're gonna do push-ups.
Yeah,
those were the good times talaga.
So
like,
it was so noisy. Like this team is cheering for them, and then like
I think kulang rin yun ngayon. Kasi 'di ba before we would coach everyone kahit mas matanda sa atin, kahit mas bata sa atin. We would coach them and try to improve them like from a peer, 'di ba? Parang peer evaluation ganun. Ngayon, we don't really do that anymore. Like we don't say na kailangan mo ng ganito, ganun. As a teammate lang, as a concerned teammate. Parang we're not parang walang masyadong opportunity to do that. Kaysa before na parang you have to coach them kasi kung talo sila, magpo-push up yung buong line. So,
like nobody wants to lose talaga at that time. We always want in our minds now we're gonna be I guess we're gonna be number one. Like we want to be on top as always. Kaya siguro ganun yung competitiveness talaga natin. Like walang magpapatalo and stuff.
The mindset
I think it's not just like I don't think we mind doing the punishment. It's that we have our own pride na rin talaga as a sports team you have to win. You don't want to lose. You don't want to lose in sparring, or else Mama Rigar, the coaches, Sensei David, is gonna get mad at you like, ba't ganun yung laro mo? It's like, no, I'm sorry.
During pa Minsan during kahit nag-appreciate. Bilisan mo. Bilisan mo.
Huwag kang ganyan. Huwag kang magpasikat.
Tapos minsan papatalikurin pa yung isa. Pag yung magaling, papatalikurin. Tapos iko-coach yung di ba? Parang, bakit ganyan ka lang? Like, dapat sipahin mo sa ulo. Gano'n, di ba?
That does happen.
Coach us in the middle, like, habang nasa gitna. May bias talaga. Pero it's really helpful criticism naman.
They really want us na parang, let's say for example, 3-0 o parang nobody wants to be like parang 3-0 lang. So parang the other coaches talaga na talagang paangatan kayo no matter if they're biased or not. Kailangan they need kasi as a coach, they need or they kailangan nila tayong iangat talaga to the top. Mga ganung
comfort zone, ganun.
Pero go.
Yeah, it's like we have our own rivalries rin It's like And I think the coaches are kind of aware of that. So it's like, okay, you over here, you over there. Tapat kayo, ha? So,
Nakakatawa yun eh. Kasi pag pipili pa lang si Ma'am Maricar ng prepare, wala nang tumitingin sa
yeah. Oh, we're also.
Una pa yung mga bata eh. Una pa yung mga bata.
Oo, nakakatawa eh. Una yung mga bata. Tapos pagtapos nila, mayabang na sila. Pwede na sila mag-cheer. Pwede na sila mag
Pero in the inside of us, parang, alam mo yung hindi ka na matingin, parang, in the back of your mind, alam mo na kung sino yung kalaban mo. And then, once na nakatapat mo yung kalaban mo na yun, parang, ay, ito na naman.
Yeah.
Sabi na naman.
Tapos minsan sobrang pagod ka na, di ba? Biglang sisigaw, round 2. Tapos ibang
Mm.
opponent naman.
Yeah,
Ibang
different opponent,
opponent naman. So
yeah.
they try to shuffle us like para hindi rin kami yung, get to the routine na parang, ito na makalaban ko, alam ko na yung mga galaw niya. Like we
Yeah,
really,
no. Exchange talaga.
It's like you won, and then the next game you lost. Like, wait, that's not a good ending. But yeah, there's also like kumite where they change it up a bit. The coaches, it's like, okay, you versus you, but you're gonna stay after this fight, and then another one will go in, and then after that,
Every
Kubuka,
minute
another,
change.
yeah, something like that, right? So they change it up. They also do what do you call this? Like an experienced fighter versus like a newer guy or like someone lesser right now. Okay, like let's say me fighting against like a purple belt. Now that's still new to sports, so that we can train them, and then we like and of course they always they tell us na, don't do your best. Okay,
may
let
handicap,
them learn.
handicap.
Handicap,
Also,
yeah, exactly.
parang
bawal ka
there's,
mag-right hand. Mga ganun.
there's
Bawal ka
our
mag-right
specific
hand.
Bago
technique.
sumipa.
There's you're allowed to have like one technique lang for the rest of the play.
Yeah,
Mga ganon.
reverse punch lang. No jab.
Pero kaliwang kamay, ganun.
Yeah.
Problem.
Those are the type of training na nakakamiss talaga eh. Like, hahanapin mo talaga yun sa ngayon. Kasi right now, I think yung sports hindi naman na ganun kadami to do that. Or if, hindi.
Okay.
That's it.
Siguro, if we do that, mga 3 round, ganun, 4 rounds kasi dati 2 rounds lang. Pero yeah.
And right now it's online kasi. So it's like
They only have the like the punching bag, yung like the red
punching
one.
ball.
Kahit before,
Yeah, the punching ball.
Kahit before mag-pandemic, mapapansin mo na yun na parang I think it's not complacent talaga. It's more of yung walang sumunod sa atin na generation. I think yun. Kasi lagi tayo may players eh. Kada bracket nun may players tayo eh. Ngayon, we cannot say that. Diba? And madalas, pareho pang bracket yung students. Diba?
Yun din yung mahirap
Diego,
eh.
si Joben. Alam mo, parang Diego, mangat ka na nga. Parang,
yeah.
kasi pareho sila ng So, ayun. Yun lang.
Sometimes it's good kasi to have like someone in your same category. Like for example, way back, you and Charles Bonagua. Okay, hi Charles. Paano okay ka lang sa Canada? Shoutouts. Like, diba, like you guys always like you guys always on the top talaga. If it's not you and Charles, maybe Brian, and it's always shifting. Sometimes it's good to watch talaga na parang, uy, same club, parang talagang nakakaangat sa club
boring.
natin na.
Yun na yung boring actually.
Same
Naranasan namin yung kapag same club na yung finals, boring na. No one's cheering. Kasi kabisado na nila yung galaw nila eh. And
parang isip mo na lang, pustahan, no? Sino mananalo dyan?
Yun nga, since kilala niyo si Edsa, mas mahirap, mas pangit yung, mas walang nakaka-score. Unlike, for example, kalaban ibang clubs, syempre hindi naman nila kabisado yung galaw mo, hindi nila kabisado yung techniques mo. So parang, mas hindi nila na pe-predict yung mga moves. So, mas maraming score. So, yun lang. So, yun talaga. Bias kami. Kaya yung dati, mas mahirap.
We're biased.
Mas enjoyable.
So what?
Yun ang bias. So, speaking of
ambience.
Continue. Ambience. Sige, go, continue. Okay lang.
Sige na daw yung ambience. Okay na daw.
I mean, di ba? Dati kasi, yung electric fan natin, like, lagi naka-on. Ngayon, pag naka-on yung electric fan, pinapatay pa kasi lamig sa dojo. Like, kasi hindi lahat, alam mo yun, parang post or super hype.
Dati yung Shopwise walang aircon, di ba?
Talagang, hinga. So, like, every after.
Anong fan yun?
No, one big fan. Hindi ko alam. Basta yung malaking fan sa gilid.
Industrial fan.
Yeah.
Kung hindi didikit sa fan, some people will lift their legs sa wall para lang, ayun, to circulate the
Yeah.
oxygen in their
Or like
body.
go outside the no the dojo.
The dojo.
Kasi
Wala,
Mm.
parang
may aircon doon sa labas. It's like, oh, ba't ganun?
Sa
yeah.
loob ng dojo wala, sa labas meron. Ano
No
yun? Ang
way.
unfair naman. Yeah, anyway, talking about sa mga techniques sa mga kumite and all. So, do you think in this generation, can you say na all of the techniques are more advanced rather than before? Or like how did it evolve through generations? Ivana? Or
Mm,
like how do you think it improved from noon sa ngayon?
yeah, I think it evolved into a much technical, like yung aspect ng kihon, and I mean pag nagte-training, parang we get more technical and really perfect the details. Kasi ngayon nga, perfection through repetition. It's not enough na i-repeat mo lang kung hindi mo naman alam yung mga mali mo. Like how will you correct them, 'di ba? So I think yung generation now, they're more technical sa mistakes and kung ano yung tamang ginagawa mo, yung smallest detail na ang dami kasing binabago na small details, ha. 'Di ba? Parang yung ano bang example? I don't know, but there's small movements na binabago sa kata. So parang I think it's really um more detailed yung trainings now. Ulit-ulit ako. Can
Ay,
we
okay lang,
go back
okay
to
lang.
Nila?
Hindi
Si
ko
Alex
count,
muna.
siguro mga 8 nang
Oo
nasabi niya
nga
yung
eh,
detail.
sorry.
8 times.
Let me compose my thoughts muna.
Alright.
Sige, ako muna, ako muna.
Okay,
Okay,
go.
sige, sige. Going sa mga techniques, I mean, we all know it's just the same. Pero, how does a person do it precisely? Okay, let's say, for example, double yakizuki, ganyan. It's still the same. You're gonna punch double gyaku, pam-pam, and you're just gonna step forward. But, sa ngayon kasi, how can you do it in a very explosive way na parang talagang yung even your opponent na parang how that person come up with that kind of technique na hindi ko naman na-notice at all. Yung mga surprise techniques na hindi natin na-expect. Yung mga ganong stuff. Siguro, let's say, technology and sports science is more like talagang evolving in this generation na parang yun yung wala noon. And speaking of sports, I somehow like know about it because yun yung tinake ko in college. And then, more, siguro ang sabi ko lang, very important is the biomechanics. When you say biomechanics, it's all about the body movements. How will you not, how to prevent injuries? How will you like, tawag ito? Improve more in that kind of specific muscle? Like for example, forward stance. We all know how to do the forward stance and then stepping forward. But some people tend to like heel up. Okay? Heel up. So parang naisip nila na, oh, mas madali to kasi we're healing up. But no, healing, making your toes, your heel going up, it's gonna lessen your speed or momentum going forward kasi you're using extra movements na which is hindi naman applicable in that certain movement. Yung mga ganun. Siguro, yeah, one factor is the sports science talaga. It made the whole sports general more advanced and be more precise on what they do. And then siguro na rin, let's say for example in sino to? Si Ate Heidi Delin Diaz. Okay. Before parang wala halos hindi naman natin alam yung tawag dito, sports and conditioning. And then all of a sudden bilang boom because of that. Because of your sports conditioning, because of your training, at the same time, ayun. So, siguro na-reach yung ganong certain of level because of, same pa rin. Pero, during your trainings kasi yun yung importante. Yun, I guess, yeah. One factor is the sports science talaga for me. How about you, Alex?
Okay, well for me, there's lots of ways that techniques change over the course of the time, especially, well, there's three main ways that I can think of. One is through competition, where like the rules change, and I think we're gonna be talking about this in another kind of podcast. But yeah, Alex gonna
Mhm.
touch upon that very slightly. Where just a
Light lang ah.
rule change, you have to of course change your techniques because it won't be applicable, okay, or it's like maybe outdated, okay. So rule change in competition, okay. Next, it will be like changes in maybe um organization affiliation. So let's say when in KD's history, when KD was still on its own, Pakihon was different. Kata, Kumite, going to ISKF, it changed. And also going to JKS, our techniques change also because we go through under different senseis from these organizations and different exposures overseas. And the third one is, well, just training seminars in general. Okay, so like training camps, training seminars. So when you learn from different senseis, they can teach you different techniques. If you go to a training camp, maybe in a different country where you train with the national team,
Yep.
you see their techniques, and you, of course you want to get the best of their techniques and how they apply it. So these techniques that you learn are are suddenly new. Like, oh, wow, okay, that's a new technique that we don't do. Why don't we do that? So of course now our techniques are changing. So now we have techniques like that. So um yeah, so those are the three main ways that we change our techniques. And the more we do these three, not really do this, like compete. The more we compete, if you affiliate yourself with like organizations, if you learn from different senseis, go through different training camps or seminars, your techniques will really change and adapt to yeah, it really adapt. So your karate will become more refined and it'll change and adapt in its way. So yeah, that's how I perceive like technique changes. By Prince.
Yep. Lahat sinabi ni Alex yun. Legit. And siguro, like, to make it simple na lang, parang, syempre, for example, this person is the best. Ayaw niya rin na mahabol siya ng iba. So, he's gonna try to increase his skills. And then, yung humahabol sa kanya, they're gonna try to increase also. And then, parang, ano siya, chain effect siya. Pag may isang magaling or dalawang magaling sa isang club, sa isang class, lahat ng mga nanonood sa kanila, lahat ng mga juniors nila, they follow them.
Will look up to them
Oo.
talaga.
Kasi gusto nila, ganun din sila eh. So parang every time nag-aakyatan, and mas gumagaling lahat. So mahirap naman sabihin na syempre mas magaling yung mga players ngayon kaysa sa players dati. Pero totoo yun eh. Iba yung mas mahirap na yung mga techniques ngayon, and then yung syempre sa rule set yun mas advanced na, and then sa kata din, lalo sa kata kasi hindi naman nagbabago ang mga kata. So yung paggawa lang nila ng kata yung nagbabago. So paano mo
Mga
i-improve yung
transitions,
paggawa?
yeah.
That's it. Power, ganun, build, tama yung sinabi ni Ella na sports science, wala na akong boses, yung kumbaga hindi lang sa personal, for example, hindi lang ikaw na, parang yung you're trying to increase also your mass para gumanda yung kata mo, para lumakas yung techniques mo, or like increase your agility para tumaas yung talon mo, para bumilis yung shifting ng stances mo, parang ganun. So, yeah, as time passes by, gumagaling yung mga students, gumagaling yung mga karatekas, and kahit saan ang sports mo makita yon. Like, mas magaling yung mga players ngayon kaysa sa players dati, just because of the fact na laging umaangat yung level ng competition. So, yun. Basically, that's it for me.
So yeah, going back to Ivana, have you like compromised your thoughts?
Yeah, yun. I also want to add na we train outside of just our sport, and that helps a lot in the evolution ng techniques natin kasi dati parang when you're pag pumapasok ka sa bagong sport, 'di ba? Yung focus mo dun lang sa sport na yun. So siguro like early belts, focus ka lang karate. But as I advance my belt, parang we try to include weight trainings and conditioning, athletic conditioning, and we try to compete, yun nga, sabi ni Alex. So I think malaking factor yung outside influence na yun. sa techniques mo na nagagawa sa karate. Kasi we try to also learn, diba, judo, and we try to incorporate that
Right.
sa competition natin. So it's a really big factor na we're not just yung one thing only. We try to go outside of our comfort zone. And mas malaking push today kesa nung bago ka pa lang or nung bata pa. Parang mas malaking push yung kaya ko ng try to dip my feet in other waters, ganun. So yeah, I think it's really based on sa experience din natin as we grow up, na the experience we gain from other trainings and from other sports, the stuff we see sa lalo yung women's martial arts festival. Parang it's a really good opportunity for us to try to incorporate yung foot techniques sa kickboxing. I might try to apply it sa footwork sa karate, 'di ba? Parang it's really important that we are exposed to those stuff. And that's me.
Yeah.
Thank
Hindi
you.
ka naman nahihirapan, no? Okay lang yan. So, speaking of techniques, share ko lang, way back pa to, and then, this was only my weight training alone. And then, sinusumpa ko yun, but I'm happy for it na nangyari yun. Okay. Kasi before, like, yung grip ko, okay, once I hold or something, like, my hands is very, very light, to the point na parang, napagsabihan ako before na same technique pa rin. Pero masyadong mabilis to the point na hindi alam kung pasok ba or what or hindi. So, naalala ko to before, sinasabihan ako nila Sir David, nila ma'am, na mag-weights nga ako. Kasi nga, they want me to improve pa. Like parang, you're doing good, you're doing great, pero they wanted more. So parang, kaya nila ako pinag-weights kasi nga masyado akong magaan. Tapos, and then, may specific akong weight training before na parang may cans ako na hawak. And then, parang sabi ko, para saan to? Like, yung parang you're just gonna, your wrist and then your forearm. Yung ganun. Parang iikot mo lang siya. Parang before, hindi ko siya gets bakit ko to ginagawa. Until dumating yung point na parang, ito pala yung reason bakit ko siya ginawa noon. And then parang, you can see the difference from before. Sorry, I got distracted because of my lola. So you can see the difference.
Shout out, Lola.
Sorry, sa my lola. So you can see the difference na parang I was more explosive ngayon compared noon talaga. So parang yun lang for me, very big impact yung weight training talaga natin kasi ang laki ng difference eh. It can really help you improve a lot. Parang yung hindi mo nagagawa noon, nagagawa mo na lang ngayon ng kusa, and then maso-surprise ka pa at matutuwa ka pa sa sarili mo kasi, uy, nagagawa ka to. So parang you can't really believe to yourself na parang kaya ka pala to. So parang in this kind of knowledge, I also want to share it with other people. And then, yung mga ganun stuff, kasi siguro that's the kind of field na I've wanted even when I was just a kid, yung mga options ko before, like very interested ako to help other people to improve yung mga ganung specific field talaga. So yeah, so sabihin mo.
Yeah. When we do weight training, yun nga, parang hindi natin alam para saan to.
Para
Like,
saan to?
Tapos
Mm-mm.
parang, kunwari, back training, ang daming back training dati sa weight, sa conditioning. So parang, bakit kailangan magka-muscle ng likod? Hindi ko naman, parang puro suntok talaga. Tapos you will feel it na talaga pag nagte-training ka ng
Mas solid
sports.
yung galaw mo.
Kaya pala kasi gagamitin pala tong muscle na to sa suntok na hindi mo naman talaga inisip before ka mag-start ng weight training. Parang, what's this for? Ayun, it's really cool na we get to apply yung muscle training sa mismong karate. Ayun.
Yeah, it's also good for advantage for us sa mga nakakaranas ng conditioning. It's also a good advantage for us kasi mas conscious tayo sa bodies natin, and most especially sa mga techniques natin before and the way how we perform.
Yeah.
Tapos and siguro yung pinakaayaw ko before, share ko lang, was the TRX. And sinusumpa ko yun kasi there was this parang movement na hindi ko magawa. Pero, yeah, yung, awan ko, TRX is not my best friend.
Oh my God.
Siya na dinala ko.
Hindi ko
Kaya
siya
nga eh.
best friend.
Yeah.
Kasi I don't have a problem with the grip. Pero like, I have sort of problem sa mga techniques natin. Most especially sa yung from here, and then, I don't know, from going down, diba you're straight yung arms, and then
Yeah.
you're going down. And then, there's a possibility kasi na your shoulder will be affected if hindi mo na-hold properly.
If you don't
So,
brace it, yeah.
oo. So, so, yun yung isang sa mga ayaw ko before. So, yeah. So, any words about it? Sa mga techniques natin, noon and ngayon?
I mean,
Wala
yeah,
naman.
different training. You have to keep an open mind, really. Yeah. When it comes to training, you have to maybe even cross train and take the good parts and the bad parts, and also the practical things that you can apply to your functional training. Like again, what you said, like with kickboxing, you can apply like certain techniques, okay, so and taking like the best from it, and even from when you're training under different senseis, when they teach different stuff, taking like the best and the part of what they teach you will be beneficial to your training, even when you're doing conditioning. Learning the next, yeah, after like taking it in, the next step is like understanding why this is important, just like what you guys said in conditioning, why this is important. I remember one exercise that we did before. Was it like the one where you on all fours and then you have to extend your back and then
Camel.
Yeah, that
parang
one.
Camel.
camel. I forgot what it's called. Yeah, but yeah, it's like, why are we doing this? It's like it's very big, and it almost looks like it doesn't really. It's not for karate, but it's just for building the kind of body awareness, and then using those muscles that you don't use every day. No.
Yep.
So that's what I
Naalala
think.
ko yung sinakyan ni ma'am yung likod ko nun eh.
Oh, really?
Tapos nabuhat ko siya with my body. Parang,
Yeah.
I can do this na. Before, I couldn't. But yeah, it really shows na you improve and your body becomes stronger through those cross-training na you do.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, should we have a break na or not yet? Or should
Okay.
we still have a break?
Yep.
Okay, sige. We're
Okay.
So,
yes.
Alex?
We're
So,
gonna
yeah. Okay, si
Okay.
Alex na?
Yeah, we're gonna play, Alex.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So we're gonna be playing. We're gonna go into a break, and how long will this break be? Ba?
1 minute.
Okay, we're gonna have like a 1 minute break.
Only 1 minute.
or maybe more.
2 minutes.
It's 2 minutes. Yeah.
1
okay.
minute on so on.
Just like
1 to 2 minutes.
Maybe a bit of water break.
90
CR
seconds.
break. Yeah. and
Potty
then
break.
We're gonna be back. We're gonna be playing what do you call this? A video.
An ad.
Yeah, or an
100
ad.
seconds.
Yeah. So see you guys by then. Okay. So
Guys.
yeah, going to break.
Be back in a
Yeah,
while.
be back. Yeah. Okay. And we're back. There we go. All right. So
And
that's
we're
our
back.
short break. Okay. Hope
Yeah,
you guys are still here
sorry.
because we still have
Talaga
one more
enjoy niya
topic
yung
to go.
video.
Seven viewers. Hi.
Yeah,
Hi,
did you guys
guys.
enjoy the
Hello.
video?
Hello.
Nasa
Oh, yeah.
7,000 na yan.
7,000.
Yeah. We forgot to like no sa mga viewers natin. We engage. We forgot to
Yeah.
engage with them. Yeah,
Daldal kasi
okay.
I
namin eh.
mean, we have a lot of comments tonight. It's really cool nga.
Oh, really?
Talaga?
Oh.
Isang
Can you
tao
tell?
lang
We're
or...
checking.
Ano, sige nga, sige nga.
Tatlo. Ayun,
Sige.
so parang before
Sabi
yung
ni...
sabi ni
So?
Diana Chelsoy, shout out. Tas
Shoutouts Diana.
Marvin Pinpin. And man, Mamix Believer. Wow. So what to do now since now is now and not noon? I think nung part na comparing the trainings now and
Yeah.
before, na parang
yeah.
let's do it
Um,
now. Kasi nga, hindi na tayo nasa old era.
I-
Um,
yeah. Answer that? Let's answer that.
sige, sige.
Siguro.
You
Yeah,
want? You guys, if you want, go.
Yeah, I think it's a step-by-step process po. No? To be honest, kung ako lang, we need to first source muna mga students na may potential. That's number one. Number two, we have to strengthen um, we have to strengthen the relationship with their parents, yung sensei to parent relationship, and also yung parent to parent relationship. Parang ganun, we have to we have to improve that. Next is we have to motivate the students, parang ganun. Kasi meron pa naman mga nagtitraining, kami rin nagtitraining pa kami paminsan-minsan, so they can also see us, parang ganun. So they still have kahit pa paano some good role models, no, na parang will help them in their progress, in their improvement. And ano pa ba, siguro more sa training, more exposure sa tournaments. And aside from that, siguro like sa tingin ko more hours of training. Kasi ngayon pa 1 hour na lang. Dati it was 3 hours, 2.5 hours to 3 hours training Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's a combination of a lot of stuff na needs to be tackled one by one, but yun naman po, we're gonna focus, lalong-lalo na pagbalik after the pandemic. Nagpaplano po ang KDA board ng mga steps para
We back.
we reclaim our former glory.
Yeah.
Yeah, after the pandemic, surely.
Ayun.
Surely.
Yun lang po
we'll
yun.
be back.
Yun lang.
Vicky answered.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been active like teaching online classes, so even we're all excited to bring back face-to-face classes. Even the students are, and I'm also excited to see them spar because the online sparring, it's gonna be
Mahirap
funny to see
pula
them face-to-face do it. So yeah,
You need exposure, talaga, experience.
exposure,
Much more experience.
competition.
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
it.
I agree.
Any more comments? May iba pang comment? Bana?
Guys,
Yun lang.
explained it really well na. So I agree with what you guys said.
Ay, sir.
Hindi, may mga ibang nag-comment pa ba aside
Sino pa
from
nag-comment?
them?
Bana.
Si Marvin Pinpin again.
Sino ba yan?
Pressure.
Paulit-ulit.
Again?
Batch 1 Sports, grabe pressure sa medal and pride sa club sa tournament. KDA kailangan number 1 at hahakot ng medal.
Ooh!
Sa small and tall player, shout out kay Pai Prince and kay Alex na kada taon nakakasama ko sa HQ. Namimiss ko yung ganun. Hindi titingin para para maturuan yung kalaban, parang ganun. Yeah,
Yung sa
that's
sparring
Yeah.
yan.
Mm.
Parang hindi siya mapili. Hindi ko nakabracket si Marvin. Nakabracket ko si Marvin.
Hindi, baka ano lang. During trainings lang naman.
Training, okay. Pero alam ko, hindi ko
Hindi, sila nila
yung
Alex.
nakabracket.
Kabrakin.
Si Alex. -2 ko si Alex eh. Kaya hindi kami nagkakaabutan eh. Ang nakakaabot ko lang si Charles, si Brian. Kasi -1 ko sila pareho. Si Christian, hindi ko naabot kasi -2 ko si Christian. Sino pa ba nakakalaro ko? Si Peter. Si Peter. Shoutouts Peter. Sana okay ka naman. Si Peter.
Yeah.
+1 ko naman si Peter. Matanda sa akin.
Right.
Yun yung mga naalala ko. Okay, sorry.
Ayun, wala lang. Thank you for those who commented.
Thank you sa comments.
Yeah, thank you. We forgot to engage with our viewers and also our commenters. So yeah, going back to our last and not the least topics or question of the day. So, being as an instructor, what are the difficulties during this kind of time habang nagtuturo kayo? And what are the tips that you can give to our students? So, yeah, ako magsa-start sa sarili ko. I forgot. Okay,
Sorry.
the difficulties in this pandemic is basically it's online, everything is online. And then there are
Yeah.
times na parang pag nagtuturo ko is hindi mo maiwasan na some of the two students nagigets kagad and then the other one is nahihirapan. So parang you cannot like left that kid alone. Parang hindi, syempre as an instructor or sensei or senpai, hindi mo pwedeng iwanan yung student mo kasi it's your job to help them. It's your job to teach them eh. 'Di ba?
Mhm.
So, sa mga ganong aspects, I always try to like talagang tuturuan siya. Parang I will tell my other students na, guys, wait lang. Okay, wait lang. Kasi hindi nagigets ng other classmate nyo. So, yung parang para another step of kasi kailangan nila magsabay-sabay. Yun nga lang for me, I don't want them to parang left behind. Kahit sino. Kaya nga I always like, guys, sorry kasi ganito, ganyan, ganyan. So, be considerate with your other classmates kasi this is online, so hindi lahat matututukan mo.
Mhm.
Kasi you're just looking at the screen. You're not looking at them like before na parang you can see all of them. Like, no matter if you're in the center or on the side kasi kita mo lahat. Mga ganun. And then, siguro sa tips during your training, siguro even though you don't have enough space or like bigger space, you can still adjust. You can still move around without like going forward too much or kasi you can like change step mga ganon, or like adjust on some parts, ganyan-ganyan. Yung ganyan-ganyan. Basta, sorry. Basta you can
Ah,
adjust naman. Always adjust, no matter what. If you think na you're lost, and then go back again from the start, and then if you don't have enough space, you can adjust. There's always adjustments for everything. Okay, even ako, I only practice here sa room. I only teach here sa room. And then, Ivana knows na kung gaano lang kalit yung kwarto ko. And then, there's no much space talaga. Talagang one stance lang siya. And then, mag-shift na ako ng stance. Like, step back and then step forward. Even also when you're going to the sides, cross and then another one. Ganon. So,
mhm.
never sacrifice na parang, or wag niyong reklamo, I think, na parang, there's no enough space. There will always be space if you adjust. Okay? O parang, ito na yung ano mo, always think about kagad what's next. Mga ganun. So, yeah, that's it for me. What about you, Alex?
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, back then, during the start of the pandemic, having all these lockdowns, it was almost like not really, kind of impossible for me to um think about like training online, because karate training online, it's like, how do you do that? How do you do that? You don't have kumite. It's gonna be hard for me to check your forms in kata or kihon. So
Mm-hmm.
it was almost impossible for me to think about online training until, I mean, we had to do it. We had to keep running KDS at business too, so that we keep our instructors and our students training, right? So yeah, again, difficulties in being an instructor is that your students, you have to recognize that your students are in the comfort of their own home. So it's gonna be hard for you to discipline your students, especially when their bed is there, especially when their phone is there, their tablet, their gaming console, their laptop, or whatever they're using, right? So it's easy for them to like relax and not feel the training mood, right? And they can easily like maybe like even go out of the video, be sneaky, maybe they grab a bite of whatever they're it's so hard to be an instructor online, and you have to really take control of the class, and it's harder to do that online because again, it's not face to face. Okay, whenever a kid go your I mean or a student, like, because I teach lots of kids in my class, so when he or she like goes in and out of video, it's like, what are you gonna do? Make him do a punish him, or maybe just scold him. It's hard. Also, yeah, kumite training. They don't know how to do sparring because they don't know what it feels like to face an opponent head on or 1v1, and then it's the reactions, the distance, they don't get that. So what we do is just we try to improvise by using the target ball that we have right now, and some online tournaments use that already as their kumite, what do you call that,
One body.
Phantom, parang ganun.
yeah,
Event.
kumite event, right? Yeah,
Partner.
yeah, that becomes their partner lang. And of course, a dummy, a stationary dummy will not be sufficient for sparring training, right? And then kata, again, like what you guys mentioned before, it's hard um to fix their stances, their form,
Forms.
teaching them the directions, where to turn, how to turn, where to go. Because
Directions.
yeah,
Pinakamahirap.
oh, as instructors, what we usually do, especially with our kids, we really manhandle them. No, turn like this. Whoop. And then lower your
Yeah.
stance. Put your
Mahirap
hand over
na eh.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Mahirap na face-to-face eh. Lalo na nung what more sa virtual.
Yeah, exactly. So
Alex.
it's really hard. And now if you want to implement other fun training, like before when I teach in Savior School with my Sensei David, we use
Shoutouts.
ladders, we use cones,
Yeah.
we used to play dodgeball so that the class is fun. Now how
Yeah.
are we able to do that? We can't do dodgeball, right? And then what we do is like we try to be resourceful by using other training implements like slippers. Okay, so okay, put your slippers, and then we're gonna be doing some agility training, or maybe get like a water bottle or something high so that you can jump over it.
Jump over it.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
maybe get a chair so you can do like, I don't know, hold it so that you can do your kicks, or maybe do some exercises. Put your feet on the chair, do some push-ups, make your exercises harder. So there's a lot of stuff that we had to experiment with,
Improvise.
improvise,
Yeah,
adapt,
improvise.
and survive. I mean, and
Overcome.
overcome pala. There you go.
Survive.
Survive
Sorry.
pa nga.
But yeah, we had to experiment a lot with online training. It's really hard. Okay, so that's just my experience. By Prince.
Yep. So yeah, it's harder for the student to learn,
Yeah.
and it's harder for the sensei to teach.
Oh, wait
So,
lang, wait lang. Wait
yeah.
lang. Hindi nabanggit. What's your tip pala, Alex, for
Yeah,
I
nga pala.
forgot.
Oh yeah, I got carried away, no.
Yeah, it's
Training-
okay, it's okay.
Training tips. I guess I kind of said it along the way, na. So like, yeah, be resourceful.
And improvise.
Improvise, and then just experiment with your training techniques, and you have to recognize how the students are feeling, because they're at the comfort of their own homes, then it's hard for them to grasp from through the screen. So sometimes I had to do katas like baliktad. Instead of starting left, you start right. So now,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I keep doing kata starting to the right.
Baliktad din.
Yeah.
Ako din.
So now I don't know how to do heian katas the normal way. So that's just one thing. So yeah, there we go. That's my advice or tip.
Okay.
Okay, so Prince.
Yep. So, ayun, it's harder for the student to learn, and it's harder for the sensei to teach. Pero, sa ngayon, ang talagang, so skip na ako kagad dun sa tip, no? Ang fino-focus ko sa students ko is their ability to check themselves. So, kasi para sa akin, ngayon it's in a virtual setting and they have less time. Siyempre, of course, dati sa atin, 3 hours training. Pag uwi mo ng bahay, di ka naman training. But for example, now students, malalakas pa sila. 1 hour lang training, hindi pa sila pagod. They can do extra training after, or they can do extra training before the class. So parang, yun yung mas fino-focus sa students ko ngayon. They have to learn how to check themselves. They also have to invest on equipment. So for example, wala silang mats, they buy mats. For example, they want to check themselves, they buy mirrors, big mirrors, parang ganon. Ano pa ba? Yeah, mga ganon, basically. Para kahit pa paano to help their training, their improvement in their karate as well. Kasi, syempre, for the instructors, it's hard to teach sabay-sabay sa Zoom, lalo pag magkakaibang belt. Kasi
Yeah.
you have to micromanage when compared dati na kapag face-to-face, you teach your high-level students first. And then after, they can hold or they can teach the new
Lower
students.
belt.
Yeah, and then palitan. The higher students, pwede sila mag-train on their own. You teach the lower belts naman. So parang mas madami kang kailangang gawin, and I think it's much more fun and it's much more
Interactive.
fulfilling. Yeah, bukod sa interactive, mas fulfilling magturo ng face to face kasi you get to experience din bukod sa siguro ngayon parang for example nagtuturo tayo, we do the stuff, pero it's different, it's a lot different when we used to train with our students that's the same place na parang you show them, you nagdemo ka, or like for example the exercises you tawag dito, you make your higher level students do them first, parang ganun. So it's harder for the sensei to teach now talaga. Tip is pinaka-challenge siguro is yung space, number 1. Daw nasagot naman ni Ella yun. And number 2, siguro motivation. It's mahirap kasi kaya marami nagbabayad para sa gym. Hindi dahil they have the equipment. Yeah, they have the equipment. Pero most people have equipment sa bahay. Pero the motivation kasi that a gym brings to you, na parang, oh, you're there, you see other people doing it. Parang ganun. In relation to karate, parang nasa sarili mo lang, nasa bahay ka lang, lalo nasa kwarto ka lang, nakikita mo yung kama mo. Si Ella, nakikita niya yung kama niya. Inaantok siya niyan. Siyempre, isa mag-training, inaantok siya eh. Hindi yung kama niya eh. Tayo siya dito, karate siya, nakikita niya yung kama niya. So, alam mo yun, it's different. Nung dati, bumabiyahe ka, no, although delikado, biyahe ka, magti-training ka sa gym, marami kang friends doon. Alam mo yun, nakikita mo mag-training kaibigan mo, syempre hindi ka papahuli. Alam mo yun, mag-training ka rin, gagalingan mo din. So, yeah, mahirap din ngayon is maintaining the interest and the motivation of your students. Kaya yun dapat talaga for the sensei. You have to motivate your students, number 1. Marami akong students na face-to-face, hindi sila nag-enroll sa virtual. So yun, namimiss ko na sila. Pero, ayun, sana magkaroon na face-to-face.
Yeah.
Pero yun, I think the main reason is because yun, hindi nila ma-feel yung training ng hindi face-to-face. And yeah, ano pa ba?
Yeah, basically that's it.
Yeah, rumble yung sinasabi ko. Pero the tips, keep yourself motivated, tapos find space talaga, and then also set a routine for yourself na you have to follow every week or every day, na hindi pwedeng tamarin ka. For example, okay na, nagawa ko naman kahapon, hindi ko na gagawin yun. You stick to your routine, no? You discipline yourself. You enhance your discipline ngayon. And then also you invest in training stuff. Invest in a mirror. Invest in mats, training mats, para pwede kang tumalon-talon, no? Para hindi nasisira yung tuhod mo pag tumatalon ka kasi yung mga katang may talon.
Yeah.
So, ayun lang. And also if ngayon hindi ito ginagawa sa ngayon, pero pwede ko siya i-push in the future if I were, kasi syempre member tayo ng board. Pwede tayo gumawa ng pantry. Like for example, walang sensei. Lahat tayo nasa Zoom. May self-training tayong lahat. Para lang merong, for example, tayo sa SMP, no? Mag-training tayong lahat, self-training. Makikita ko si Ella, nag-training, anong ginagawa niya. Nakita ko si Alex, nag-training, anong ginagawa niya. So ako, motivate din ako. Walang sensei. It's self-training. No? Kanya-kanya tayo ng self-training. Pwedeng nakamute, pwedeng hindi nakamute.
In a way.
Yeah, parang study session, pero it's karate focused, parang ganun. No? So kahit, alam mo yun, we have to adapt, we have to look for ways on how to improve everything talaga. So, yeah, ayun lang, from a millennial, ganun lang ako mag-isip. Pero,
from a millennial perspective. Yeah, okay. That was great. So,
that's it for me.
If I may, just a bit lang. Yeah,
Go, Alex.
yeah, just quick lang. just like what Pi Prince said, that you have to invest in equipment. I think you also have to invest in also good internet. Because again, online training, it's hard to, what do you call this, it's not like in face to face, where when you demo as an instructor, when you demonstrate a technique, they can feel the speed, the intensity, the power, no, and
Yeah.
even grasp like the dimensions of your like how long your stance is. Okay, so in online training, if you have a bad camera, bad internet, bad mic, you're
Ana.
wala na. Your class is a disaster, right? And then I have some students where their camera isn't that good, like the refresh rate of the camera, so you can see them. You think they're doing it very fast, but like you see the silhouette, no, because the camera can't keep up. So I don't know how fast they do it. If their internet, if they're lagging, right? If their camera is very outdated, I can't see how strong or fast they do it because it's blurry, you know. So that's one thing. That's one of the difficulties of being an instructor during these times, online training, and and that's something that it's hard to do. Also, you have to invest in good internet, not just training equipment, but also equipment for the camera, maybe even mic, whatever. So yeah. Um.
So yeah, for Ivana, just only give a tip and then yeah,
Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
Wait,
yun.
only tip.
give me a moment. Wait. There we
Can
go.
I like say na yung difficulties ko na lang as starting
Yeah.
kasi
Sure,
Starting
sure.
instructor.
I'm not that experienced like you guys. So um it's really hard for me to adapt. And I mean pagdating sa
Wait,
pagtuturo.
hold on. Sorry. Wait.
Nawala
OBS. Oh, nga, nawala yung OBS eh. Give me a moment.
I think they can still hear us though.
Yeah, they can still hear us. So,
Yeah,
sige,
go,
Yeah, I'll
go
just
ahead, go
continue
ahead.
my yeah, yun parang experience ko lang is parang nadadatnan ako ng imposter syndrome, if you guys know that. Yung I don't there comes
There you
the
go.
point na I don't think na I'm good enough to teach in this setting sa online. Kasi I'm parang hindi ako ganun ka-creative or what. Not that I'm bringing myself down, kasi I can do this
There you go.
kapag sa face-to-face. It's just hard to adjust. And I think it's a lot, I think one tip is for yung mga advanced, kunwari, ako may set of students. Siguro yung mga advanced kids or students ko, I'll let them handle the class like minsan from time to time, so they can also learn how to be a good instructor or how to handle a class online. Kasi it's hard to adjust once na you're put in the spot. And kunwari ako, like bigla ako sinabihan na, oh, mag-handle ka na ng class. So parang ako, I don't know how to teach. So online. So it's hard to not have a background on it, which is why we should try to incorporate that training sa students now. You know, yung mga alam natin na they might advance na maging black belt soon. So pag they're at this point na magtuturo na sila, they can easily adapt. Yeah, ayun. Yun lang.
Yeah.
That's my
So wow. Now look at the time. Oh wow, di ko napansin. So yeah, before we end this episode, takeaways from everyone. I'm gonna start with myself first. So the takeaways for me is never neglect or never ignore how many times you do kihon. Never neglect because it's your foundation. Okay, it's your foundation. It will always be the number one and your enemy when you're gonna start the training. Okay, and then so trainings ngayon, I can say it's more advanced rather than before because we know it's more technological and the small details are so very important. And teaching is not that easy for us. Yeah. So that's it for me. How about you, Alex?
All right. Yeah. So again, when it comes to training, you have to really keep an open mind and like see the different views and perceptions of training. You can approach your training in different angle where you can do like conditioning, or maybe even learn from different senseis. I always tell my students that learning from different senseis is very what do you call this, you learn a lot more. You learn a lot from what I don't teach. I mean, I don't teach it, so you learn from them. I mean, I guess I hope you guys understand. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like even cross training, competition will help a lot. And yeah, again, for those becoming an instructor and teaching online, well, you just have to be resourceful. You have to be patient, especially because it's very difficult teaching online, and you have to be, what do you call this? Well, just stay healthy, really. So, by Prince.
Yeah, for me, siguro, basics are important. Tapos, listen to your senseis because they're experienced. And try to make the most out of your situation ngayon. Na even though it's COVID, you can still improve in your karate. And I firmly believe in that. Of course, marami kang di matitrain. Lalo na yung partners. You know, ay mga kailangan ng partners. Like your kumite and also your one-step sparring, three-step sparring. But you could focus on your kata naman. You could focus on your techniques, on your combinations sa kumite, in the delivery of your techniques and your combinations. So, yeah, always find ways to improve. That's it.
Ivana?
Ivana, sorry.
Sa akin naman, main takeaways, word of the day, bugbuging.
Oh my god.
But, sorry.
I was hoping you guys forgot about that now.
Ako na, hindi ko na nakalimutan eh.
Ano mo
Jeez.
lasal?
Foundation talaga yung kihon ng karate mo. You really need to focus on it and know its importance in your karate journey. You should also be creative with it, and we all know that it's not easy to learn and teach, online. So for me, it's really important for us to improvise and be resourceful nga, like what the three of you said. So yeah, that's me.
That's you. All right, guys. Thank you. Okay, so this is our outro. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. We hope you and your family enjoyed this episode. Make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. I am Ella.
I'm Ivana.
I'm Alex.
And Prince.
You didn't go for the
Ayun kanina.
originals.
I'm handsome.
No,
I'm
there-
Prince.
And we are the Unarmed podcast.
Let's go!
Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you,
Hey.
guys.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Next
Alright,
week.
see you guys next week. Okay.
Wow.
Bye.
Shoutout
Alright.
kay Diana.
Hindi tayo nag-iyak.